Wednesday has certainly been quieter than Monday and Tuesday of this week. That being said, it's still chilly across much of Newfoundland and Labrador. And once we factor in those winds, we get the wind chill, which is nothing to slouch at for a lot of areas in St. John's. As of just before 3:30, that wind chill is down to -10, -14 in St. Anthony. Tomorrow, many of us will not have a wind chill. We'll talk about why that is after I thank today's forecast sponsor. Twin Ponds Wilderness Lodge has a brand new 224-person event space, perfect for corporate functions, retreats, and gatherings year-round. Enjoy great service, stunning surroundings, and endless possibilities. See it for yourself this New Year's Eve at their New Year's Bash, featuring an exceptional dinner and live music from ColdWater Junction. Visit twinpondswildernesslodge.com. A big reason the snow squalls have ended is because the wind direction has changed, and that will continue overnight as we get a more southerly wind direction, helping to warm things up. In fact, for a lot of Newfoundland, temperatures moderate to above freezing by early tomorrow morning, and that trend continues as we go throughout the day tomorrow. Notice by noon up to 5 degrees in St. John's, 6 in Trepassey, 3 in Grand Falls, Windsor, 4 in Corner Brook, St. Anthony still at -2, and that warm air comes up in a big way by tomorrow evening and then begins to get shunted offshore as we move to tomorrow night and Friday as the colder air takes hold, especially during the second half of Friday across eastern Newfoundland. Southeast Labrador tries to warm up Friday, but it's not going to be much of a warm up considering temperatures may not even get to the freezing mark. And that's all because of an area of low pressure that will be swinging through and for the most part going west of most of Newfoundland and southeast of a good chunk of Labrador. Now the weather pattern is changing. We can see the squalls ending as we go through time this afternoon. Some light snow showing up in the southwest quadrant of Newfoundland. We have some precipitation showing up to our southeast. That's going to move over southeastern areas overnight. Some spots may pick up a couple centimeters of new snow, but that will be short-lived. Our next weather maker is back here, and this is going to prove to be a messy and mild one for Newfoundland and snowy for a good bit of Labrador. So here we are. We'll take you through time, future radar, and cloud cover as we go into the evening and overnight. Again, some areas are going to see a little bit of snow. By tomorrow morning, we are waking up to rain across the Avalon Peninsula, the Bonavista Peninsula, showers on the northeast coast, snow for parts of the Northern Peninsula, especially once you get just north of Deer Lake along Route 430. Labrador wakes up to very quiet weather on Thursday, but that will kind of be short-lived in the southeast where snow arrives in the straits by midday. By midday, most of Newfoundland seeing rain and breezy conditions, the exception the Northern Peninsula where it's snowing through much of tomorrow. That too will change to rain or mix with rain by evening, while the snow gets heavier in southeastern Labrador. As we go through the early morning hours of Friday, most of the rain is done. The southwesterlies, the colder air, as we talked about in the temperature forecast, is beginning to take hold. Flurries and snow squalls again become more widespread on the island during the second half of Friday for the west coast, south coast, and even the Avalon Peninsula at that, and the snow persisting in southeast Labrador into at least Friday evening, maybe even a little bit beyond that. Snowfall-wise, we're not looking at a tremendous amount overnight. So by tomorrow morning, there are your totals. A couple centimeters in the southeast Avalon, not a whole lot expected for St. John's, if any at all. A few centimeters through central, southern areas, Northern Peninsula. Most of the snow the island sees is going to be limited to the Northern Peninsula tomorrow, and it's going to fall north of Corner Brook. You can see it there, 5, 10, 15 centimeters in spots. By Friday morning, we are seeing snow piling up in southeastern Labrador. Between 15 and roughly 30 centimeters will have fallen by then. More snow falls in Labrador during the day Friday, and on the island by Friday evening. Look at all the snow that's fallen for western areas. And what this is showing you is snow from the onshore flurries and squalls in the high terrain. And again, much of this will be Friday. Travel trouble tomorrow across much of the island, minus wet roads, is not going to be a tremendously high impact travel day with respect to weather, if you just followed the sense I'm trying to make. Friday is going to be a lot more impactful because of the flurries if you're trying to travel across the island. Tomorrow is just kind of a rainy, kind of dirty old day, I suppose, if you're going to be going over the highways like I have to do tomorrow morning. Rainfall forecast as we go through Thursday. Not looking at tremendously high amounts, but you can see there in the southwest, That's where those rainfall amounts are going to be the most significant. Wind-wise, we are going to see some wind in the southwest corner of Newfoundland tomorrow morning. Wreck house area seeing winds gusting as high as 100. Other areas not quite so high. As we go into the east, we see our peak winds during the afternoon tomorrow, winds gusting 60 to 80 or 90 kilometers per hour. Nothing like we saw, earlier this week and late last week. And then as we go into tomorrow night and Friday, sure, it gets breezy initially on the west coast, everywhere by later Friday, but we're not looking at tremendously high wind speeds, and that is not a bad thing. All right, here's your 7-day forecast for eastern, central, western, Newfoundland, Northern Peninsula, southern areas. Temperature-wise, you're going to be fairly similar to the west coast this go around. But notice there is snow or rain and snow in the forecast for every conceivable area of Newfoundland on Monday. And that is the day right now I'm eyeing as a potential significant weather maker, as we are going to have an area of low pressure near or over eastern Newfoundland. And it's going to be a very strong low as it looks right now. This will generate heavy amounts of snow, rain, and wind. And where we see each one of those elements, too early to say. But Monday could be quite a day weather-wise. I'm watching that closely at the moment as we have this low, this high to the west. Between them, we certainly will get some strong winds, and that may be enough to keep cold air in place for some of central and eastern Newfoundland, even western areas, depending on where that area of low pressure ends up tracking. Some computer model guidance has it here, some has it out here, right? If you want snow and you live on the Avalon, this is not a good snow track. This is a great forecast for central western Newfoundland, which could also use the snow, but if you want snow and you live in the city or eastern areas, you want that low a little further to the east. So we'll see where it ends up going, but right now we're just eyeing Monday potentially as a very impactful weather day with rain, snow, and potentially very high wind speeds once more. Into Labrador, we've got the snow lingering for a lot of areas as we go into Friday. The weekend right now does look quiet, potentially some snow in the south on Monday into Tuesday. Otherwise, temperatures kind of steady as she goes. In the west, we cool back down. Looks like Sunday and Monday after a relatively mild day on Friday. If you don't have my app yet, be sure to get it in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Search Sheer Weather. And if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you're watching this on Facebook, give me a follow. Have a very good Wednesday evening.